Good evening, everyone. It's Chris England again, and now it's time to view the Fire Festival. So this is the trailer for the Light of Flame Special Heroes banner, which, once again, we have a new type of hero stuff. So we're gonna start with the Blazing Whirlwind. Lin. So this is Lin's 8th alt, meaning that she now has claimed the crown of the most alts in Fae. And luckily, she doesn't have too many that are doubling. This time is a Lance Infantry, drawn by Q-Boon. And I can certainly see why people note that the artist's illustration style is very unique. And for the voice actress reprising her role in the multitude of different cases, we have Makiko Ohmoto. So Miss Ohmoto has done actually another Smash character sharing with Lin, and it's Kirby, surprisingly enough. We also have Sayaka Maizono from Danganronpa. From the Samurai Warriors or Warriors Orochi series, we have Ina. And then from the Zoids Chaotic Century and New Century, we have Fiona. Now for the skill set, we have not necessarily an oddball, but kind of something to take note. It's Shield Pulse 3, as well as Speed Smoke 4. So she is going to be aiming to reduce damage from whatever source she can. And then we also have the Firelight Lance. Of course, we have the cooldown count -1. And then at the start of battle, if unit's HP is 25% or greater, during battle, she gets Spectrum +5. She deals additional damage equal to 15% of foe's attack. And if her speed is greater than foe's speed -4, she inflicts cooldown count -1 per attack on the foe. So guard effect, true damage, and Spectrum +5. But that's not all. At the start of battle, under the same HP condition, after battle, she and any allies within 4 spaces get cooldown count -1. So we are exactly seeing a very special focused ability. And luckily, we have a brand new special, Godlike Reflexes. On activation, it reduces damage by 40%, but only if her speed is greater than foe's speed -4. And then if her under the same kind of condition, during the battle, if she's able to proc her special or has already procced it, she deals additional damage equal to 15% of her speed. So very, very focused on speed. And then you also have multiple ways of reducing. So you have the dodge effect, you have the godlike reflexes, and then you have the further 5 from the shield pulse. But we also have a brand new A skill, the Verdict of Sakai. If there is an ally within 4 spaces, she gains a spectrum buff time equal to the number of allies within 4 spaces times 4 plus 4 with a maximum of 12. So as long as you have 2 or more, you actively get the full bonus. And if she's able to proc her special during combat, if she activates her special, she deals 5 additional damage, ignoring any AoE specials, and if she deals damage, even if it's 0, she recovers 5 HP. So basically, this unit is a very, very fast defensive unit, very similar to what we've seen in Lin's generic kits. We've seen very fast, very heavy, very fast units, very heavy options. I do have my reservations about Lin in general, which I will save for until I've covered every single unit. But for now, I do like her kit. animation is very cool, actually. Then for our next unit, we have the Raging Inferno. Muspell. This, once again, copycatting Niffle. This time as a colorless breath cavalry, drawn by Sotaro, and once again voiced by Tessho Genda. So, Mr. Genda, I will point out Kurama, I will point out Hetero from Gintama, I will point out Yutaka Goda from my love story. But in this case, I think it's actually very prudent to point out that he does voice Tigger in the Japanese dubs of Winnie the Pooh as well as Kingdom Hearts, and this actually matches more of what he was. What I will say is that I like is the design of the fact that the chest looks so much better. Like, he's not trying to look like a high school delinquent with a pompadour and the long school cape draped over his shoulders. He actively looks like he's enjoying the festival in some way. So that's a good thing, at least. And then for his kit, we do have another B skill tier 4. We'll start with the Moonbow. We have yet another attack defense catch 4. And then we also continue on with his Domain of Flame. So this one's going to be if there's an ally within 2 spaces, during combat he gets attack defense +4, and during that battle, that ally and if that ally's attack is greater than the foe's resistance, it deals an additional 30% of the attack minus the foe's res. So, damage buff. And then he also does the same thing for himself. So this means that he's going to copycat what he did originally, have very high res. For his new B skill, we have Dragon's Wrath 4. During combat, the damage from the first attack is reduced by 25%. And then if his attack is higher than his foe's res, during battle, the first attack's damage that he deals is going to get a bonus of 25% of the difference between his attack and the foe's resistance. Once again, more damage buffs. But we also have the Breath of Flame. Once again, we have adaptive damage and cooldown count -1. At the start of turn, if his cooldown count is at maximum, he gets a -1 to that cooldown count. So changing that 2 to a 1, and then that 1 to ready to proc. And then if he initiates combat or is within 2 spaces of an ally during combat, he gets +6 to attack, the foe gets -6 to attack, he gets a guaranteed follow-up, and then any non-special skills that would reduce damage by so-and-so percent get cut in half. So if for example, you're going to use the Brave Edo Guard's B skill, instead of reducing the damage by 80%, it would reduce it by 40%. So this is a very nice swing. Now, one other thing to note is that he's ditching his Fatal Wounds, which were in his original Flame Lick Breath. While I do think that is a very interesting choice, I also do think that the damage reduction half cut is a very nice addition. And don't forget that he also is dealing more damage through other skills. And now on to our 4-star focus. This is the Consuming Flame Rinkah. This is actually an odd thing. The unit that was most likely going to be put in this banner got put in as a Sword Infantry 4-star focus. Um, while I like the fact that we're getting more sword units as 4-star focuses, I do have to question their choice for Rinkah in this case. Albeit, I don't think it's that bad of a exchange. I do think that having Rinkah get a 4-star alt is a very nice thing, and this also moves her off of the list of units without alts. Granted, there are other units that I would prefer seeing an alt for, but it's progress. So we have her drawn by Chico, and she's voiced by Yui Ishikawa. So for those who I did the voice lines when I did Teenies. So Enterprise, Mikasa Ackerman from Attack on Titan, and then Morgan from Freight Grand Order. 由緒正しい闘技なんだぞ. So once again, I'm going to point out that because she is a 4-star focus, her kit is definitely lacking, but I do see something that might actually be good. We have the reposition, or actually, no, this is pivot. And then we have the A skill, the attack speed ideal 3, as well as Odd Tempest 3. So the question becomes on this one, since these were originally very premium skills, locked mostly to 5-star units exclusively, especially with Ideal, be the only case in which you could get a 3 without is by 5-starring a Muriel. So I'm going to be very interested in seeing which one of these is the 4-star. And then for her weapon, we have the Flame Gunpai, or Gunbai Plus. So at the start of battle, if her HP is at least 25% or more, during combat, she gives herself plus attack and defense 5, plus attack defense 5, and then deals a penalty to the opponent foe's attack and defense equal to her 20% of her defense at the start of combat. So this does not include that 5 bonus that she would get. So if she's got, say, I'm going to go low and say 20. Let's see, what would it would be 25. That's an auto 5 swing to each end. So that's a very nice swing for a non-PRF weapon. The other thing is that seeing her with the tier 3 of attack speed ideal means that it's going to be easier to fodder off attack speed ideal 4 along with a possible B skill or a swap out C skill. And then also, since she is basing a penalty off of her defense, we are going to see a very high defense, so adding Bonfire or Ignis would definitely be a good thing for her. And then our oddity of a harmonic is the Soothing Warmth. We have Tana along with Peony. This is an interesting combination. So it's a harmonic from Sacred Stones and Heroes OCs. So Tana is covering our green as a green dagger flyer. And this time she is drawn by Masaki Majima. And the two voice actors we have are Kumi Tanaka voicing Tana, who has done Julie from Street Fighter V. She did also the Japanese dub of Julie Yamamoto from Ben 10. And then Max Caulfield from, I believe it was Left 4 Dead. Then probably the bigger one would be Azumi Waki, who voices Peony. So probably some of my favorite voices for her are Special Week from Uma Musume, Gauko from Please Teach Me, Garuko-chan. We also have Kumano and Suzuya from Azur Lane. And then we have Rem Galeu from How to Not Summon a Demon Lord. And I will admit that the art is very beautiful with very, very thematically beautiful flame designs, as well as the Flame Tribe's chest bindings. So we do not have a very big kit. We start with Glimmer. We also get Attack Speed Catch 4. We just got this on Nina. So we're giving a lot of units Attack Speed Catch 4. And then this is also a rarity. We're also giving her Wind Sweep 3. So this is going to be a denier for distant counter range 1 units. We also have a brand new hold skill. This time it's going to be a speed defense. But we're also going to give her the Kindling Taiko. So once again, we have cooldown count -1. And at the start of the turn, she and allies within 2 spaces get Kanto 1. So she's giving herself and other units Kanto. And Medius's value just shot through the roof again. Same thing with Makoto and her Refine. While I don't mind the idea of having that kind of Kanto, I do have the question of when is this Kanto Fest going to stop, or is it just going to continue? So at the start of battle, if her HP is 25% or greater, during combat, she gets attack speed +6. She nullifies her own denied follow-ups, so this works well with Wind Sweep. And then if she initiates battle or the opponent is anything but red, during combat, she gets a buff to her attack equal to her 20% of her starting attack, and then her foe gets a debuff equal to 20% of their starting attack. Wow, that's a swing. Now, admittedly, the last part is kind of a weird thing since she does have Wind Sweep, but all it means is that she's going to be dealing with units. Oh, this is and, so she's not going to be able to it's going to be more like a triangle attack effect. And then she also has the Dagger 7. So I will recant. This is very useful, but it's also not going to go. It means that she's just a lot like Cecilia from Year 1, where she's going to be trying to face anything but red units. One thing I will state is it has been a very long time since I've seen a unit with Wind Sweep, and it's also been a very short time since I've seen a unit with AS Catch 4. And then we have her Harmonize skill, so she can target any unit that is either Sacred Stones or Heroes OC. And it gives Resonance Blades, as well as if there's an ally within 2 spaces from the same game series, the one that has the highest HP gets another turn. So we have a Kanto gift, a Wind Sweep without denying her follow-up. We have a dual attack buff debuff. Now, one thing I will note is, and actually I will probably note this later, but it's Sacred Stones and Heroes, so note that for later. And then And of course we have the news story, the Bite of Flame, matching the banner, of course. And we do actively have a new our Tempest trial. This is so once again we move another unit off of the list of no alts. This time Mordecai. So unfortunately we do not know his actual artist. We have his Gentle Flame, but he is voiced by Akinori Egoshi. So the best role I can suggest is the Neutrophil number 201 from Cells at Work. So in his kit, he's going to get Fiery Fang, which is going to copy over his original weapon's defense +3, and he's going to do the exact same thing that Rinkah does, where if he's starting battle with 25% or more HP, he gets attack defense +5, and then deals a penalty to foes' attack and defense equal to 20% of his pre-battle defense. He also comes with, he's another unit that also comes with Fortress Defense Res 2, and he also comes with Attack Defense Gap. So once again, we do not unfortunately know just yet which one of these skills is going to be the 4-star tier 3. We already have Sonia, so it sounds like it could be the Gap skill, but I personally do not know at this point. So going back, I'm actually going to go in reverse. So the weird choice of Tana and Peony in this case is that there's only one unit on the banner that she can actively use her skill on, and that's going to be Muspell. Now, granted, this is not that big of a deal, but I do find it interesting that they didn't decide to include any more a unit specifically from Sacred Stones. Now, in terms of value for her, I can't really complain. It's another unit that has attack speed catch 4, another source of the Wind Sweep. Glimmer is, of course, a very beautiful skill. Her Kanto add-on is a very nice thing, having that buff damage as well as ignoring denied follow-up on her own self. And then, of course, we have a new hold skill. I do actually gripe that Rinkah was the 4-star demote, especially since this feels like her main banner, but I can't really think of another reason to say no to what she offers in terms of her skills. We have attack speed ideal 3 on a 4-star focus with a possibility of it being a 4-star tier 3. If not, it's Odd Tempest. And then, of course, we have her weapon, which is a good sword, for very high defensive units. So armors would really like this one. Personally, my pick on which one I actually like the most in terms of design is Muspell. They got rid of the Pompadour-esque hairstyle and gave him a dragon demon mask. His hair actually looks way better in design. His chest looks much more defined. He's not acting like he's trying to hide himself. Like he's actively enjoying himself in the festival. And then let's also not forget that he does come with as a new B skill as a tier 4. He also comes with yet another rendition of attack defense catch. And let's not also forget his domain of flame. His breath, I really can't say much more. The ability to constantly proc his special, as well as the guaranteed follow-up, and the damage reduction half cut. Now, onto my main gripe with this banner. let me start by saying I do like Lin as a character. I do enjoy the fact that they've given a character that's from a very old game in the series that desperately needs a remake. But my biggest problem is that we have about 200 plus units that have at least 1 year without an alt. And I think probably about, I'd say about 120 of those are within the 4 year mark. Now, I do actively question why they chose Lynn for this one. I can say that I could understand why. She definitely plays the part well of a fire for the fire festival. But I do also feel like there are some other choices. If you want to go for uh, a unit from Sacred Stones, this could be an odd choice. But Dosla, he would actively seem to enjoy a festival. You could also go for Amelia. She has no alt yet. So that would have been another female from Sacred Stones that would actively be able to get that bonus. And from what I remember, Amelia is actually pretty fast in general. So she also matches up with the idea of using Lynn. If I were to choose, I think Effie would have also been a good choice. Another Fates added to the banner wouldn't have been a very welcome addition, but at the same time, I don't personally like giving units that already have more than or equal to more a number of alts more than or equal to the number on the anniversary. So right now it's the 5.5 anniversary. So any unit that has 5.5, so 5 base, and then supporting a duo or harmonic, or I'd be willing to stretch it to 6. I feel like they should be more. I feel like that should be giving way to other units. And yes, I do understand that it has been a while since Ninja Lin, but don't forget that that was Lin's 7th alt. Again, the same kind of thing I could argue. Um, I do not argue at all her kit, PRFA skill, and a questionable PRF special. And then a lot of speed based reductions, damage buffs. We also have like a guard effect. We have the damage buff, damage reduction, speed buff, and damage reduction, as well as speed debuff on foes. Um, in terms of her kit, once again, I have no complaints. In terms of the choice of unit, I do have my gripes, but I can't really say anything more about what she has. I would say that I don't mind the design. I would say that I would have preferred a different unit. I keep sounding like a broken record. I know that already, but that is just me. So that's going to be it for the trailer. For those who probably noticed, I ignored the uh, spark requires Fey Pass to do. So I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching.